There comes a point in every man's life when Allah removes everything, not to punish him, but to bring him closer. The friends he trusted fade away. The plans he built collapse. The voices around him go silent until he stands alone with nothing but his faith. And in that silence, he finally hears what he had been too busy to notice, that Allah was never absent. He was waiting to be all that you depend on. Because when a man has no one but Allah, that's when he discovers who he truly is. 1. Isolation is not punishment, it's invitation. There are moments when Allah begins to quietly remove people, plans, and distractions from your life, and everything feels like it's falling apart. You start to wonder, why me? Why did the ones I trusted disappear? Why did the opportunities I prayed for vanish? But what if it's not punishment at all? What if it's mercy wearing the disguise of loss? Allah isolates you, not to harm you, but to heal you. He takes away the noise so you can finally hear Him clearly. When life empties, the heart finally has space to be filled by its true source, the presence of Allah. When Allah loves someone, He doesn't always give them what they want. He gives them what will bring them back to Him. Sometimes that means breaking your routine, separating you from certain people, and making your path quiet and unfamiliar. It feels painful because we cling to what's familiar, the comfort of company, the rhythm of routine. But Allah knows that attachment to creation blinds us from the Creator. So, He removes the distractions one by one until your eyes can finally see that He was the only constant all along. You see, when Allah isolates you, He's protecting you from a greater harm you can't yet see. The people you lost may have betrayed you later. The job that slipped away may have destroyed your peace. The love that ended may have derailed your destiny. But in His divine knowledge, Allah cut those ties before they could choke your spirit. What looked like rejection was redirection. What felt like abandonment was alignment. The silence you're sitting in now is not empty. It's sacred preparation for what's next. Most people call it loneliness. The believer calls it purification. When you stop running after people and sit still in your solitude, you begin to feel something deeper than sadness. You begin to feel closeness. Every tear you shed becomes a prayer. Every sigh becomes a form of remembrance. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." 94:6. He didn't say after hardship, He said with it, meaning, even inside your isolation, there's ease already hidden there, waiting to be discovered. True peace isn't found when you have everything. It's found when you realize you need nothing except Allah. That's why He sometimes takes everything else away. Because the human heart, by nature, becomes distracted by comfort. When life is smooth, we forget who sustains it. When people applaud, we forget who blessed us. So Allah removes the applause, the support, the familiar voices, not to leave us alone, but to remind us that His presence was the real security all along. The Prophet himself spent long periods in solitude before revelation came. The cave of Hira was not a place of escape. It was a place of divine transformation. Alone with his thoughts, surrounded by silence, he met the call of his destiny. Likewise, your cave, your moment of isolation, may be preparing you for something greater. Allah isolates before He elevates. He hides before He reveals. He takes you away from the crowd so He can shape you without distraction. Every believer who reached greatness first walked through the valley of isolation. Yusuf A.S. was separated from his family before ruling Egypt. Musa A.S. fled to the desert before leading his people. Even Maryam A.S. withdrew to a quiet place before the miracle of Isa A.S. was born. Their isolation wasn't a curse, it was the womb of their purpose. So if you're alone right now, understand, Allah is not done with you. He's just preparing you in private for what will soon be seen in public. And when the time comes, when He brings you out of that silence, you'll realize that isolation was never punishment. It was invitation. Invitation to return, to rebuild, to reconnect with your soul. You'll see that the people who left were never meant to stay, and the pain that broke you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to lead you to the one who never leaves. Because when Allah becomes your only company, you stop fearing solitude and start tasting serenity. 2. The test of loneliness builds true faith. There comes a stage when Allah allows you to walk through loneliness, not because you've been forgotten, but because your faith is being built in silence. Loneliness is not the absence of people, it's the presence of a divine test. When no one checks on you, when your messages go unanswered, when your efforts are unseen, Allah is teaching you how to depend on Him alone. He removes the comfort of companionship so you can discover the power of connection with Him. Because as long as you rely on others to make you feel whole, you'll never experience the sweetness of being complete through Allah. Faith isn't proven when life is loud and full of applause. Faith is proven when everything goes quiet. It's easy to trust Allah when doors open easily, but real faith is trusting Him when every door closes. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever puts his trust in Allah, He will suffice him." Quran 65:3. That means the moment you stop trying to control everything and surrender your situation to Allah, strength starts to grow from within. Your loneliness becomes your spiritual gym. Every tear, every moment of silence, every breath becomes a rep that builds your faith stronger than before. When Allah loves you, He doesn't always surround you with people. Sometimes He separates you, because people can become a distraction from purpose. They can drown out the whispers of revelation meant for your heart. So He pulls you away so you can hear Him clearly. The night you thought was your lowest point may actually be the night your soul began to rise. Every believer has a moment like this, when the room is empty but their heart feels full. When everyone is gone, yet somehow peace begins to return. That's the hidden beauty of divine loneliness. Many of Allah's beloved servants faced this test before greatness came. Yusuf A.S. was thrown into a well, forgotten by the world, yet that loneliness was the start of his destiny. Musa A.S. stood alone against Pharaoh's army, yet that isolation revealed his courage. Even our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced years of rejection and silence before victory arrived. Every lonely step you take for Allah plants a seed of unshakable faith, because you can't develop trust when you're surrounded by comfort. It grows only when you have no one left to lean on but Him. In loneliness, you begin to notice something powerful. The same pain that used to break you starts to strengthen you. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your worth. You stop begging to be seen, because you realize Allah already sees you. And once the heart knows that the Lord of the worlds is aware of every silent tear, the need for human approval fades. That's when faith becomes real, when you no longer need to be understood by people, because you're understood by Allah. Sometimes Allah isolates you not to make you feel small, but to show you how powerful you are with Him. You start realizing that you can survive what you once thought would destroy you. You can pray through pain. You can keep going through rejection. You can keep believing through silence. That resilience isn't yours. It's Allah's strength flowing through you. He promised, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. Quran 2:286. Your loneliness isn't a punishment. It's proof that you're strong enough to handle divine preparation. Loneliness also exposes false attachments. It shows you who was genuine and who was only there for convenience. It reveals what your heart still clings to besides Allah. When the noise disappears, so do the illusions. You begin to see clearly what truly matters, who truly cares, and what truly lasts. Allah uses loneliness to cleanse your vision so you can recognize the difference between what feeds your soul and what drains it. What once hurt now heals, because the heart that trusts Allah learns that even emptiness has meaning. And when that test finally ends, when Allah sends the people, the peace, and the purpose you've been praying for, you'll look back and thank Him for the loneliness, because it built something inside you that comfort never could. You'll realize that the nights you cried alone were the nights your faith took root. You'll see that loneliness wasn't the absence of love, it was the birth of Tawakkul. The test didn't destroy you, it transformed you. And from that moment on, your heart will whisper with certainty, if I have Allah, I can never be truly alone. 3. Pain is proof of preparation. There are seasons when life feels like it's collapsing, where pain becomes your only companion and silence feels endless. But what if that pain isn't punishment, but proof that Allah is preparing you for something greater? Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every sleepless night has meaning in the divine plan. Allah never wastes pain. He uses it to strip away what's temporary so He can build something eternal within you. When your heart breaks, it opens, and in that opening, Allah plants strength, wisdom, and resilience that comfort could never give. Pain is the fire that shapes the believer's soul. You can't develop patience in ease, nor faith in convenience. The Prophet ﷺ said, "When Allah loves a servant, He tests him." Tirmidhi. That means your suffering isn't random. It's a sign of divine attention. Allah doesn't test the weak. He refines the chosen. The fire you're standing in isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to purify you. Just as gold is melted before it shines, the believer is tested before he rises. Every tear you shed becomes a brick in the foundation of who you're becoming. Think of Yusuf, A.S. Betrayed by his brothers, sold as a slave, imprisoned for years for a crime he didn't commit. To the world, he looked forgotten. But in reality, Allah was preparing him for leadership. His rejection was his redirection. His prison was his classroom. Every trial was carving into him the humility and wisdom he would need to stand on the throne with justice. The same is true for you. Your pain isn't blocking your destiny. It's building it. What feels like delay is often divine design. Sometimes Allah withholds what you want most to protect you from what you don't yet see. You may cry for a door that never opens, unaware that what's behind it could have destroyed your peace. So He closes it, not to deny you, but to preserve you. And when everything falls apart, He whispers, "Do not grieve. Indeed, Allah is with us." Quran 9:40. That's the secret, His presence in the middle of pain. When you remember that, pain loses its power to break you. Instead, it becomes a reminder that you're being guided, not forgotten. Pain also reveals what's hidden inside the heart. When you're comfortable, your flaws stay covered. But when you're tested, the truth comes out. Your fears, your attachments, your weaknesses. Allah exposes them not to shame you, but to heal you. You can't purify what you refuse to face. So He lets life press you until what's false leaks out and what's real remains. That's why some of your hardest moments brought your deepest prayers. Pain stripped away the ego and left sincerity. The believer's strength is not measured by how little he suffers, but by how deeply he trusts through it. True faith isn't saying, "I'm fine." It's saying, "I'm hurting, but I know Allah has a reason." Pain teaches surrender. Not the kind of surrender that gives up, but the kind that gives in to Allah's wisdom. It's the moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Guide me through this." That shift turns wounds into worship. You stop seeing pain as your enemy and start seeing it as your teacher. Every story of greatness in Islam begins with a chapter of pain. Musa, A.S., was abandoned as a baby before he was chosen as a prophet. Maryam, A.S., endured isolation before giving birth to a miracle. Even our beloved Prophet ﷺ faced ridicule, loss, and exile before victory. Their pain was not a pause in their purpose. It was preparation for it. Allah uses hardship to stretch your faith, to deepen your character, to prove that your soul is ready to carry the blessings you once prayed for. And when the storm finally passes, you'll understand what you couldn't while standing in it. You'll see that the heartbreak was the doorway to humility. The setback was the bridge to success. The pain that once felt unbearable became the reason you turned to Allah with sincerity. You'll look back at your scars and realize they were signs of His mercy, each one proof that He was preparing you, molding you, and shaping you for something greater than you imagined. Because in Allah's world, pain is never wasted. It's the language of transformation. 4. When you depend only on Allah, you see miracles. There comes a moment in every believer's life when Allah removes every support, every safety net, every plan, until you're left standing with nothing but faith. It's frightening at first. You feel exposed, helpless, uncertain. But that's the exact point where the unseen begins to move. When you depend only on Allah, He shows you that His power is not limited by circumstance. What looks impossible through logic becomes effortless through trust. The same Allah who split the sea for Musa, A.S., can split your hardship open with a single command. Be, and it is. Dependence on people makes you anxious, but dependence on Allah brings peace. Because people can change, promises can break, and situations can collapse overnight. But Allah remains. Every time He takes something away, He's teaching you who the real provider is. You can chase every opportunity, plan every move, and still lose it all. But when your heart relies on Him alone, even the smallest effort turns into abundance. Allah says, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Quran 65:3. Sufficiency means you'll never lack what's written for you, no matter who walks away. When you truly let go and say, Ya Allah, I trust you, something shifts inside. The chaos outside might remain, but the panic within starts to quiet. You begin to see things differently. The storm no longer looks like destruction, it looks like purification. The obstacles no longer look like punishment, they look like guidance. That's what Tawakkul, true trust, does to the heart. It doesn't erase hardship, but it makes you unshakable within it. You stop fearing loss because you realize that everything you truly need is already in His hands. Look at the life of Musa, a.s. Cornered between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army, he had no weapon, no army, no escape, only faith. And yet, when he raised his staff, the sea parted. That miracle wasn't in the staff, it was in the trust. When you depend on Allah like Musa did, the barriers in your life start to bend to His will. What seemed hopeless turns into your breakthrough. The same God who guided Musa through the sea can guide you through your storm. But you must walk with faith, not fear. Relying on Allah doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing your best and trusting the outcome to Him. It's the balance between effort and surrender. You plant the seed, but you know He sends the rain. You speak the truth, but you know He softens hearts. You take the step, but you know He moves the ground beneath your feet. That's why some people do everything and still fail, while others do little and still succeed. Because success isn't measured by effort alone, it's measured by who your heart depends on. Sometimes Allah delays what you're praying for so your faith can mature. If He gave it too early, you'd thank the gift and forget the giver. But when you struggle, wait, and finally receive, your gratitude deepens, your humility strengthens, and your bond with Him grows unbreakable. The delay isn't denial, it's divine timing. And in that waiting, miracles are already forming. You just can't see them yet. That's why believers smile in hardship, not because life is easy, but because they trust the one who controls it. The world calls it coincidence. The believer calls it Qadr. You'll start to notice little signs. A solution appearing out of nowhere, a heart suddenly at peace, a path opening after months of blockage. These aren't random. They're reminders that Allah was working behind the scenes all along. The moment you stop forcing life to go your way and start asking Allah to show you His way, you'll see how everything begins to align effortlessly. That's not luck, that's divine precision. And one day, you'll look back at the moments that scared you most and realize those were the times Allah carried you. Every closed door, every rejection, every detour was a part of His protection. When you depended only on Him, He replaced what you lost with something you never imagined. Because dependence on creation leads to disappointment, but dependence on the Creator leads to miracles. And once you've tasted that kind of trust, you'll never go back to fearing anything again, because you'll know, as long as you have Allah, you already have everything. 5. Solitude with Allah becomes strength. There's a sacred power in the moments when life grows quiet. When the noise fades, the people leave, and it's just you and Allah. Most run from solitude because they fear silence, but the believer learns to find strength within it. Solitude is not loneliness, it's divine companionship. It's the space where Allah rebuilds what the world broke. When you stop seeking constant distraction and finally sit with your soul, you begin to hear the whispers of peace that were drowned out by the world's noise. The world sees solitude as weakness, but with Allah, it becomes the strongest place you can stand. The Prophet ﷺ would often retreat from people before revelation came. Those nights in the cave of Hira weren't wasted. They were the foundation of his mission. In silence, he met truth. In solitude, he met purpose. And when revelation descended, he emerged transformed. The same pattern exists in every believer's journey. Allah isolates before He elevates. He hides you so He can heal you. He takes you away from the world so you can return stronger, wiser, and purified. So if you're in a quiet season, don't rush out of it. Something powerful is being shaped within you. When you spend time alone with Allah, you start to realize that peace doesn't depend on company. It depends on connection. You can be surrounded by people and still feel empty, or be completely alone and feel full of light. That's the difference between social comfort and spiritual contentment. Allah says, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest." Quran 13:28. That verse isn't theory, it's reality. The heart that remembers him in solitude becomes untouchable by despair. It doesn't collapse when people leave because its anchor is divine, not emotional. Solitude teaches you the beauty of reliance. When there's no one left to confide in, you learn how to speak to Allah directly, not through ritual, but through raw honesty. You stop rehearsing perfect prayers and start talking from the heart. That's when dua becomes powerful, when it's real, not performed. In that private conversation between tears and whispers, faith deepens. Because the more time you spend with Allah in silence, the more confident you become in noise. The world no longer intimidates you when you've learned how to draw strength from the unseen. The greatest transformations happen in hidden seasons. The caterpillar doesn't grow wings in the crowd, it grows them in the cocoon. The same is true for you. Your solitude is your cocoon, where Allah strips away everything that's false and gives you wings of faith. Don't curse the season of being unseen. That's where your strength is forged. You may feel forgotten by people, but you are remembered by Allah in every moment of your stillness. And when the time comes, He will reveal the new version of you that was formed in that sacred silence. Solitude also teaches you discipline. It purifies your attention. You start noticing how much energy you once wasted chasing approval, noise, and validation. Alone with Allah, you learn that your worth was never in how many people clapped for you, but in how sincerely you stood before Him. Every prostration, every quiet tear, every whispered astaghfirullah strengthens the heart. You become grounded in purpose. You start carrying peace that no one can take, and clarity that no one can confuse. That's the strength that comes only from stillness. Even when pain visits you in solitude, it changes form. What once felt like emptiness begins to feel like clarity. You start seeing why certain things ended, why certain people left, and why certain prayers were delayed. The silence that once hurt now heals, because you realize that Allah didn't isolate you to make you lonely. He separated you to make you whole. When you stop fighting solitude and start embracing it, the soul expands. You begin to feel Allah's nearness in ways that crowds could never give you. And one day, when the season of solitude ends and you step back into the world, you'll move differently. You'll speak with calm, act with wisdom, and carry a peace that confuses people. They'll wonder where your strength comes from, and you'll know. It came from the nights you spent in quiet prayer, from the tears that only Allah saw, from the faith that was built in silence. Because solitude with Allah doesn't weaken you, it rebuilds you. It turns isolation into illumination. It transforms emptiness into empowerment. And once you've tasted that strength, you'll never fear being alone again. So if life has stripped you bare, if people walked away, if your plans collapsed, if you feel unseen and forgotten, don't despair. This is not the end of your story. This is where your soul learns to stand on its truest foundation, Allah alone. He removes the temporary so you can find the eternal. Every silent night, every tear that fell unseen, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, Allah heard it all. He never left. He was simply teaching you what real strength feels like, peace that depends on no one but Him. And one day, when everything starts falling back into place, you'll look back and realize that season of loneliness was actually the moment you were reborn. Because when a man has no one but Allah, he finally becomes who he was meant to be.